These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Mark Z via PDK, the negative impact of Parliament not moving forward with the budget. It's my opinion that the reason they have not moved forward is they are about to spring the new rate, but they're being pressured by the people as they have not been able to pay 600,000 government employees or so because they haven't taken care of the mechanism in the budget. This push to me signals sooner than the end of Ramadan because these people need to be paid. This is very positive things in the streets of Iraq. All right, Frank26 bank story says, I called my local Chase Bank. I said, can you tell me if you're currently exchanging the Iraqi currency? They said, everything is changing minute by minute. Your best bet is to come into the branch. I do not have an account with Chase Bank. Me and my husband went down. I was at the teller letting them know I needed to open an account and needed to exchange foreign currency. She starts taking all our information, says can you hold on just a second? The branch manager is wanting to talk to you. I said sure. So 2.5 hours later, we finally got out of there. We're private clients now with Chase Bank. Private client accounts are the larger accounts. Meanwhile, when we were meeting with the branch manager, he said he's seeing if the dinar come and go on the bank screens. He showed me they had 2 screens. I stood there and watched him. He said you have 30 days to fund the account and the wealth manager will be calling you. He said he looked forward to seeing you in the future. My husband is a retired police officer. I don't have money like that to fund this account. The wealth manager called me today. He's actually the vice president here in Oklahoma. He says, I've been waiting 15 years for this to happen, and I'm going to wake up one day and receive an email from either Chase Bank or VP Morgan explaining what we need to do for our clients. He knew all about the currency, Iraq, what's been going on, what these banking people know, what's going on, what's fixing to happen. It's just amazing. He says, can I come and meet with y'all? I said I'd rather meet with our legal team. He's actually going to call me again tomorrow. All right, Pimpy says the dollar is still continuing to slightly decline against the Iraqi dinar. What was it that guys said? Oh yeah, the gap should be closed within 2 days, so let's keep an eye on this and see if in fact that gap between the official versus the parallel market rate is closing at all. All right, Militiaman says today was a big day. It's massive. Everybody should be pumped about it because they've stopped the dollar sales. The Central Bank of Iraq is not going to sell dollars anymore. They're going to sell it to other banks that have legitimacy. Those banks will sell these dollars for legitimate purposes to citizens. It'll be tracked effectively. Once they dry up the dollar, the parallel market becomes obsolete. What we're hoping for is the parallel market will get down to a 2% ratio like the IMF requires. Walking Stick via Frank26, the currency monetary reform climate inside of Iraq determines if the fills were right to be released at the onset. They told the citizens they will receive them at the onset with the new small category notes. That is a quantum leap. Breitling says, look, we're speculating. You have to believe Iraq can add value to its currency based on how much customers they have, how much production they have, and the control of their money supply. They created artificial inflation with their money supply. Always remember that. Always go back to that. If you don't believe they can reduce this money supply, then this investment definitely isn't for you. All right, Nader from the Mideast, a lot of people talking about the bank screens. Please, if anyone can explain to me what's the back screen and how they see the back screens. That's because I don't know why you guys are talking about back screens. There's no back screens. Show us proof to see it. I don't see any proof. Frank26 article, quote, Parliamentary Finance is discussing with the International Monetary Fund support for the 2023 budget law, unquote. Frank says, from the WB to the IMF, all T's crossed, all I's dotted for the monetary reform. All right, Pimpy says, looks like Iraq has finally gotten the budget back to the House of Representatives. Now the committee will study it and respond to whatever the new amendments are. Article, quote, Parliamentary Finance announces the receipt of the draft federal budget law, unquote. Pimpy says, that sounds really good to me. This is what usually happens. The committee gets draft budget law and they send it to the House of Representatives. The HOR responds to the amendments they want. They send it back to the Financial Committee. It goes back and forth until they all agree on everything. Then they vote on it to pass. And lastly, Mountain Goat article, quote, Al-Alaq, central bank packages contributed to the stability of the dollar exchange rate, unquote. Another quote, the governor of the central bank, Ali Al-Alaq, announced the stability of the dollar exchange rates after 3 packages launched by the bank during the last period, unquote. Mountain Goat says, yes, kudos to Al-Alaq, hip hip hooray. Another quote, the central bank's reserves are within international standards, unquote. Mountain Goat says, in fact, way over the required reserves of about $45 billion, as told to us years ago by the IMF.